Couldn't have just hung on for another 10 or 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Deep Drop, the fishing podcast like you've never heard before. How's that teaser ads? Does that kind of work, or do I need to?
That's an
bad.
audio grab.
That's not bad. Okay,
That's
good.
an audio grab.
Welcome everyone. My name's Luke McCredden, and with me, as always, is Adam Ring. And ads, I just tried to do a little teaser at the start, but I need some help explaining what the Deep Drop's about for those that might be new here, or those that have been here for a while and they haven't worked out what the Deep Drop's about. Which, fair enough, by the way. So please help me out, my friend.
100% fair enough. We're still trying to work out what the Deep Drop actually is, but basically we talk outside of the podcast space, Luke, you and I.
Mm.
And what generally happens is we start saying, or a lot of our conversations start with, hey, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Or remember this? Or what happens when this happens? And they always end up being kind of ridiculous, kind of funny, kind of thoughtful, kind of informative. And we thought, you know what? We should record this because we can't be the only people asking those questions. So the point of the podcast, you ask every week, Luke. We've been going for quite some time. Well, I think we're in the late 70s as far as episodes go.
Yeah.
Still, we try and work out what the Deep Drop is. And I say, Luke, the week that we work out what it is, it's probably time to hang them up.
That might be the last week.
So if you ever tune in to a Deep Drop episode and we nail the explanation of what the show is straight off the bat,
That could be it.
it could be the last one you've ever heard.
Nah, good.
Because we don't know. We don't want to know. We want to keep asking all the questions that have 500 answers,
Yeah.
give you our thoughts, and then open it up to you as the listener to tell us your thoughts so that by the end of it, we're all really confused. We've had a chuckle.
Yeah. We've given you
But
some water cooler chat topics.
Yep. But we're always motivated at the end
Yes.
to go fishing and try the dribble that we spill on a weekly basis.
Absolutely.
And it's the greatest thing.
Absolutely. The Deep Drop, what is the Deep Drop is kind of like, what's the meaning of life? There is no real answer.
No.
Or maybe there is, but no one knows it. But to your point about we can't be the only ones who think these weird questions or ideas is I think we're accurate on that path because we get so much interaction and feedback and thoughts from you guys out there listening and that are on Instagram and see our questions pop up and then go through and listen to the episode and get straight back in touch with us. We're not alone, ads. We've got a crew. We've got a crew who is in the same boat as us, and we absolutely love it.
Yeah, I love this.
Now, on that, and this is where, because we get so many cool things to even make thought provokers for us, isn't it? Really, to bring to the show.
Things to ponder. Yeah.
Now, on Spotify, you can actually interact. So there's some polls that go up there every episode. There's some questions that you can sort of put your thoughts and answers to. Now, this is from a couple of weeks back. Trent Robinson on Spotify asked a question, and I think it's a belter, and it is the perfect Deep Drop question.
I'm excited for this.
And this is, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this because I guess I've got an opinion on this, but I'm also easily swayed, and I'll explain. So the question is, and thank you, Trent, by the way, belter of a question. Is there such a thing as too far to drive for a day's fishing? You know what I'm saying? It's a great question.
It's a great question, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that will listen to our answers, whatever that may be, and they'll go, "Oh, you pussies aren't putting in the miles. That's why you're not getting it." Yeah. But then there'll be others that go, "What are you doing? There's great fishing that's heaps closer than that."
Yeah.
It is the perfect Deep Drop question.
It's a great Deep Drop question. And thank you, Trent. I love this. And massive shout out to you for bringing this to our attention. Because, in a lot of ways, you could argue that No, there's no such thing as too far to drive. If it's a hot bite or it's just a place you really want to go to, bloody go there. Get amongst it. Have a crack.
Yeah, I'm not so much hung up on the time it takes to get there. It's more the regularity in which you're willing to put those Ks in. So
Yeah.
So before I get to an example and before I get to my thoughts, when you read that, Luke, straight up, because that's the first time I've heard this question.
Yeah,
For
true.
people listening, that's the first time I've heard.
Yep.
I've heard that question from Trent. So what was your first initial thought?
Well, I read the question a couple of times because is there such a thing as too far to drive for a day's fishing? So just a day trip. Look, you and I, we've both put in some serious Ks for just a day trip or a day's fishing. And a lot of people have. I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere because ultimately if it's a day trip, you got to actually go fishing. You know what I mean? So you can't be driving 16, 18 hours of that day because you're not going to be really doing much fishing.
You're going to spend more time driving than you are fishing.
Well, yeah.
Which I've done plenty of times,
I was going to say,
by the way.
Yeah, 100%. We've all done that. Well, a lot of us have done that. I certainly have. I've done some pretty big drives for a couple of days fishing, like an overnighter where I've driven to, say, and I've done this multiple times when the weather window presents itself and I know there's a good bite. I've driven to Narooma up, stupid hours early, drive, fish that day, stay the night, fish the next morning, then drive home.
But do you know what, though? That to me registers straight away as as soon as you factor an overnighter, it's never too far. So that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but when you think about it though, it's one night, so you're still driving. You're probably only in that place for like 24 hours. So like by the time you get there, you fish, you spend the night, you might fish the next morning, and then you're driving home. It feels like a day.
Oh, it's not the correct answer. It's ridiculous. I'm saying in my dumbass brain.
No, I get it.
The second you put in overnight, you're like, oh, nowhere's too far.
No.
Like I've got heaps of stuff.
Yeah. Let's go to Brisbane. Yeah. But yeah.
There is a limit to that, though. There is a limit to that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. But for a day, I mean, all right, let's say, let's say someone's metro-ish Melbourne or, even... Let's say the Mornington Peninsula where you are, Ads. What's Mallacoota from down your way roughly?
7 hours, 8 hours.
Would you that's a long way to do in a day there and back.
Oh, you couldn't. You couldn't.
No.
I do that drive fairly regularly for work. You couldn't do that in a day.
No.
You couldn't.
All right, let's bring it closer. Let's bring it.
Okay, well this is interesting. I'll bring something else to the table, Luke, before we try and come up with some sort of definitive answer.
Oh, it's not going to be definitive.
No, it's not. But I've worked out. So I've been doing what I've been doing for work for just over about 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm on the road as a sales rep. I have worked out in that time, I'm comfortable with a 3-hour drive each way for a day's work.
Yeah, piece.
So that ring of about 3 hours, can do that. No worries, piece of piss.
Yeah.
There's only one that I've done that I did in a day that I swear I'll never do again. I can do it, but the drive was boring as batshit, which makes a huge difference. But it's also one that's been done so regularly by Victorian or Melbourne Metro fishers.
Yeah. I think I know where you're going with this.
That after now doing it, I don't know how anyone's ever done it because remember, if I'm doing it for work, I'm not fishing. And that's that friggin' drive to Portland.
Portland, I knew it.
There is so many boats that in the peak of Portland tuna will leave the Melbourne CBD. They'll drive directly to Portland, sometimes after working all day, to sleep at the boat ramp.
Yep.
go out fishing, or well, no, that's probably not what we're talking about. They'll leave really early. They'll be at Portland, so roughly, without towing a boat, it's about 5 hours to Portland from where I am.
Yeah, roughly from Melbourne.
You then go and put a 6.5 meter boat on the back. It's taking you. It's taking you 6.
Yeah.
6.5. So they're leaving Melbourne CBD early enough to be at the ramp by dawn. Fishing a day offshore.
Yeah.
Depending on how the bite's going, they're either off the water at dusk if it's a tough bite and driving home.
That's a massive day.
Or if it's a good bite, they can be out by lunchtime.
Early arvo. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a massive day.
That's a complete arsehole of a drive without towing anything.
Yep.
That to me is, if you're fishing, that's too much.
It's dangerous too.
It's too much.
Yeah. So this is interesting, because this is where I was sort of going with the Kuta thing. Like if we started this conversation around Melbourne, and then you sort of looked, so west in that situation, that's a big day trip. I'm not sure I want to be doing that. Kuta, no, it's too much.
You couldn't do that in a day. You're going to be wasting your time.
Lakes entrance?
Lakes, piece of piss.
Yep. So, well, yeah. I mean, again, depending on where you are.
Not piece of. Oh, see, I'm about 3 hours away from lakes, so
very doable.
So doable. Yep.
All right. What's in between?
But from where you are.
Yeah, nah.
How long does it take you to get to lakes? 5 hours.
Probably. Depends who's driving. No, I'm joking.
That's a rough day trip.
That's a rough day trip. So, okay, I'm doing a real time Google Maps thing here. I should know this. Yeah, it's a 5-hour trip.
5 hours, yeah.
Let's call it. Whereas, what's Portland for me? This is really bad radio.
Well, Portland would be about 3 hours for you, I reckon.
Nah, it'd still be. Yeah, almost 4. Yeah, 3. Yeah. Yep. Call it just under 4. So that's a lot. I'm more inclined to do that than go east if we're talking about big day trips. But Jesus, I mean,
all right. So where's the threshold of unrealistic now? And what's the scenario? There's a good bite and we're going, or is it like I'd like to fish that place. Let's go smash it out in a day.
Because it's kind of the lure of a good bite sucks us in, doesn't it?
Oh, bad.
Bad. And look, this is a really interesting one, and it's very, like each to their own on how far they'd want to drive for a day's fishing. But I think you start talking about, there's almost a threshold where you go, we're chucking the swags in. Like, we're not coming back that night. And that might be even something like Eildon or up near Shep and Wang or Portland or, wherever. There's got to be an element of, where does that threshold kick in? And I think, I think it's, are we saying 4+ hours one way?
I'd even say anything over 3, you have to think.
So anything over a 6-hour round trip, you're saying? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Because, and see, fishing's a different beast than working. Say I left home, I could leave home at, say, 5 a.m. It's early, but it's not ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So, but you've got a 3-hour drive there.
Yep.
Are we talking the fishing day, you get maximum out of it and you fish till dark and then drive home? That's dangerous.
It is dangerous. And by the way, yes, we should state that we don't want people pushing the limits and doing anything silly. Fishing wears you out too, especially if you're doing Portland, just trolling around for tuna all day.
Yeah, offshore.
Yawn.
It takes it out of you mentally. Yeah, blue water fishing will have you questioning life's decisions quickly if it's not much is happening.
But you know what? Like, realistically, though, and we've done all sorts of different fishing, you and I, ads. Like, there isn't much that if you're doing it for 5 or 6 hours minimum, that you walk off the water feeling fresh. Like, it wears you out.
Oh, it does, yeah, it does.
So 6-hour round trip is maxed out, you're saying?
I would, yeah,
All right,
I'd think so. That's what I'm thinking.
Because
That's
if you
all
left
I'm
at 5, you're at your fishing destination at 8. You fish 8 till at least.
Even if you fished 8 till 4, 8 till 3
or something.
depending. Yeah, because
And then you're home
it's
at.
amazing how much harder the drive gets in the dark.
Yeah.
And it also needs to be said, how much easier is the drive there than the way back?
Oh, yeah.
Mentally, I'm talking about.
You're up and about, you're excited, you're fresh.
Yep.
You've probably gone to bed earlier the night before just to make sure you're fresh. And the anticipation. So you get there and and then when you lug your ass back to the car at the end of the day, and you all of a sudden you don't care about your rods breaking, you just throw them in the fucking car.
That's right, and you never leave. You never leave with any freshness because you've either had, you could have the greatest days fishing ever, but the second it's over and you get half an hour down the road, or you hit the open road, no matter where you are, it's over quick. You crash hard, not the car, but mentally, you just crash hard. Or you've had the worst days fishing ever, and the whole way back is like
questioning why the fuck you even came.
Time.
Should have just sat at home watching the footy,
and you're exhausted.
Yeah, should have slept in.
Yeah,
could have just fished off my local beach.
Yeah, nah.
Should have taken up fly fishing. Like, you start questioning everything. But you're right.
So,
all right.
It's tough, but I will go on record to say the in-car entertainment has come so far. I think that keeps you engaged driving for, on average, at least another hour to hour and a half.
Yeah, that's fair.
Depending on who you're with. If you're on your own, because with the introduction of podcasts...
Oh, are you doing... Is this a plug for the Deep Drop, what you're doing right now?
It's changed being in a car.
I love it.
It's changed completely. Whatever podcast you're into, or whatever your distant second is to the Deep Drop, gets you like just it can help.
Yeah, like clearly, there's not much other than the Deep Drop. But if there is, what?
Just hypothetically speaking, if there was.
Well, I mean, obviously there's the Deep Drop and then the Deep Drop fishing tunes. So what's the third thing?
Whoa. Okay, this is big because as much as I love listening to podcasts, a solid playlist is a different beast.
Playlist is a bang. And we did create that, and this isn't a cheeky plug, but we did create the Deep Drop fishing tunes for that reason. Well, actually, it was more for fishing itself, but by all means, smash that out on the way to fishing and on the way home as well.
Yeah.
But you're right, there's so much, and we've done so many road trips together, ads over the years, and with other people as well. And mate, the tunes is everything. The tunes, and the tunes is it can make or break a road trip. Even as you said before, on the way when the energy levels are high, if the wrong playlist comes on, it's like, whoa, what are you doing?
What sort of trip are we setting up here?
Yeah, what is this? I'm in the wrong car, obviously. So and then. Yeah, the way home's important. The way home's important. You got to get that shit right.
That's where you got to proper lock in on the way home.
A stop at Servo or a Macca's stop always helps.
Yeah.
Just a couple of cheeky nugs.
You got to break it up. Yeah, you got to break it up.
Yeah.
I don't recommend, even as a passenger, especially for the way home.
Yeah.
And this could be a controversial take.
Okay.
It really could be. If you're the passenger, just take it easy on the cans.
Do you feel? I feel like the way home, the cans aren't getting smashed as hard. It's on the way. Do you know what I'm saying?
No way.
Oh no, we're not talking about a night before.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about mornings, aren't we? Sorry. Well, yeah. Yeah, take it easy on the cans. But also,
And if
all
you're
right.
driving, don't touch the cans, please.
No, definitely don't. If you are the passenger, I'm asking you your opinion on these ads. Is it wrong to fall asleep?
Listen, technically it probably is. Now, no one falls asleep on the way up. I just want to throw it out there.
And if someone
And
does, kick him out.
If you are one that falls asleep on the way up, please get in contact so that we can publicly mock you on this podcast. Because that's shit form.
That's shit. Yeah. Yeah. Get the energy up.
Yeah.
Lift it up. But on the way home,
the
this is
way
where it's hard
back-
because everyone wants to fall asleep on the way home.
And I don't get offended by anyone that falls
No.
asleep in my car on the way home because it hits you proper quick.
It does.
And especially if you're a passenger, there's only so long you can fight it.
part of me
Driving, you've got to. You're a little bit more. You have to be more engaged, so you get a little bit more out of it.
you can't
but
fall asleep if you're driving.
no, unless you. No, you
No.
can't.
I guess what I'm getting
That's
at
where the
is
regular
there some
stops on the way back is a must.
yeah, is there some sort of, unwritten rule around, or should we write the rule around passengering? Is it, just be mindful that the driver's doing all the work, let's be honest.
Yep.
Just hang in there for him or her, give them some support.
At least try.
At least, well, yeah, but just be
And it's
better than
hard.
try. What about,
So
yeah,
if so you and I are on a road trip, I'm
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah.
You fall asleep on the way home.
I'd be really disappointed with myself if I did, mate, so I apologise for that.
But if you did, is just the general rule now that basically I have free reign to hit the brakes, draw shit on you,
Yeah,
just whatever it takes
yeah.
to stay.
Oh, yeah. Look, for sure, you can. I'd still like you to focus on the road, but but you've also got the ability to take complete control of the tunes or
All the
podcasts.
playlist, that's true.
But I just and then obviously you don't need anyone's second opinion when it comes to making a stop at a servo or a
on the way home, I think regular stops is the key. We never want to stop when you're on the way home. You do fight the urge to stop because you just want to get home. But it's unbelievable how getting out of the car, having a walk around, go and grab a drink, go and grab a pack of barbecue shapes from the servo.
What's your top 3 servo grabs while you're in there? What are you grabbing
All right.
on the way home?
See the way,
You got 3 hours left. 2.5 hours to go.
I feel as though the way home's a little bit different.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, let's do both scenarios. Let's start on the way. On the way, you do a servo stop.
Yep.
6
on the
a.m.
way. On the way, I'm snacking. So it's a sausage roll in the morning.
Nice.
And my general rule of thumb is I'll try and put off a can of V until 10 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't always work, but I'll try and put off. So maybe like a sausage roll and a Coke.
Yeah. Not bad.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Unless you do legitimately want to just swing into a cheeky Macca's, grab a couple of bacon egg muffins and a hash brown.
Yeah. Fair.
And actually put something like fill
substance.
up a little bit,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Which I'm 100% all for.
Okay,
I think it makes a difference. Hitting that drive with a full stomach is a solid effort.
Yeah. What? All right. And drive home. What you go to?
Drive home.
Are you hitting an energy drink?
100%. Only ever one though. I never go multiples.
Well, I was going to say even with the knowledge that it might fuck up your sleep later, but you got to get through that drive.
Yeah, it doesn't hit me like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big energy drink guy.
But see, I don't drink coffee either, so I won't stop for.
Well, that's because you'll shit your
coffee.
pants.
This is a whole different lane that I have lots of thoughts on, Luke, and we will get there.
Okay.
And we will get there because if there's one thing I've learned how to do being on the road as a sales rep, it's how to shit anywhere that isn't home base. So it's a different And this is coming from
Wow.
a dude. This is
Yeah.
coming from a dude that went through his entire school life from prep to I finished year 12. I never shit at school.
Is that right?
It was a big step for me.
Fascinating.
It was a big step. It was a big step.
That's something I have never known about you, and that's
Yeah,
a real interesting
It was a
piece of
steep
knowledge.
learning curve. Steep
Wow.
learning curve. But anyway, it's a topic for another episode.
Hey, nothing beats home base. Like, let's make that
Nothing.
perfectly clear.
Nothing.
But Jesus Christ, when you got to go, mate.
Well, I've learnt this.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I tend to try and snack more
Yeah.
on the way home.
Mm.
Barbecue shapes.
Barbie shapes, no dramas. See,
Yeah,
I'm happy to crack them in the morning too. Grab a
Yeah.
box
Oh,
in the
yeah.
morning.
Way up. It's a staple. So
Yeah.
way up and way back. There's a barbecue shapes.
Yeah.
I don't mind either natural confectionery sour squirms,
Yeah.
solid, and of recent times, and I blame the kids for this.
Yeah.
It's the Sour Patch Kids, solid. I've also become quite impartial to a gooey caramel Kit Kat Chunky.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Good one.
Righto.
Where I was in the past strictly a Mars and Snickers man.
Right.
I've broadened my horizons to the Kit Kat Chunky. I've been
Do you
on
know,
it a little bit.
I reckon I've got shares in Boost.
Oh, you're a Boost man.
Love a Boost. Hit me with one of those
It's-
double. Hit me with a
It's
double.
it's a hearty chocolate bar.
Yeah. And you know the ones I'm talking about? You get the 2-in-1?
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, king size only.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's a yes
Yeah.
from me. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Boost. Interesting.
So I mean, yeah, I think the way home you're sugaring up, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know,
You just got to try and
you got to get through. You got to do
just
what it
gotta get
takes.
through.
Okay. I mean, there's a good. Yeah. I'm less likely to probably. Oh, not maybe not. I'm probably less likely to do a Macca's stop or something. You know, it's more just a sugar fuel fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Get me
really,
home.
Yeah. See, I'm. Yeah. Depends.
So, but see, this plays into it, right? So this is a big part of, too far to drive for a day's fishing. But I think we've sort of landed somewhere around that 6 to 8 hour round trip.
Oh, eight's too much. Way too much for me. I'm probably going 6 hours would be absolute max for me. I reckon. If it was much more than that, it would need to be a pretty.
What about,
special
all right, I'll just throw a scenario out just to see if it changes at all, because I'm just thinking, all right, there's a 4 hour drive to a couple of trout streams that are absolutely firing at the moment. We could get out of the house I'll pick you up at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Early start, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We're on the river at 8.
Yep.
We can fish through till, I mean, it might be fishing well all day. We might fish for 6 hours.
Yep.
So 2 o'clock, we call it stumps. We get in the car, home by 6. Do you know what I'm saying? When I put it like that, like you've fished for 6 hours.
Not gonna
On
lie, I'd probably
really
say yes.
solid trout fishing. And
When you put it like that,
that's
I'd
what
probably
that's
say
what I
yes.
mean. That's what I mean.
Oh, you threw me there.
Big flatties are chewing at, one of the East Gippy rivers or Ty. I know Ty's is sort of closer to you anyway, but what's Ty? Yeah, what'd you say? It's about 3
3 hours.
ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
3.5 hours. Yeah.
So I'm just spitballing. So people on the west of Melbourne who are inclined for a bit of estuary fishing, big flatties, brim, whatever, you'll be looking at 4 or 5 hours. Do you do it in a day? It's a big day. I reckon 4. If there's a good bite, if there's an awesome trout fisher, the day's stunning. If the kingies are just chewing their faces off, but I've got to drive, 4 hours down the coast to get there or wherever it is, I'm open to it.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's
got to break it down into chunks. It's got to break it down into chunks. What time do I need to leave? What time will I be there?
Yeah,
How long am I fishing for? What time do I need to be? Not that you need, like, it's not a need to be home, but what time would I like to be home to really unwind and still have a decent sleep to be fresh for the next day.
Well, the other factor that plays into it, and really interested to hear your thoughts, because I find, say you were picking me up at 4 a.m. So
Yeah.
I'm a shower in the morning guy.
Yeah,
I'd set the alarm for 3:30 and be showered and ready to go. The issue is, the second I set that early alarm, I'm done. Because I guarantee you, I'm fucking wide awake an hour before the bastard goes off.
It's so true.
The anticipation of the alarm, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm not one that'll sleep through an alarm. I'm one that'll be wide awake 45 minutes to an hour before it goes off.
I do that. My brain's fucked because I'll do that thing where I'll wake up 10 minutes before my alarm or 20. And you go,
yeah.
I'm not going back to sleep now.
Yeah.
And you just go, like in the grand scheme of things, 10 or 20 minutes extra would have been really fucking handy.
That's a solid power nap.
Yeah. And it happens every time. Even sometimes just for work and that. And I just go, really?
Yeah.
Couldn't have just hung on for another 10 or 20 minutes?
Yeah. The worst is when you wake up like within an hour and a half to 2 hours before the alarm, but you're busted for a piss. Yeah. So you're like, seriously? Like, I can't hold it. I'll have a stomach ache.
Yeah.
But now I'm concentrating so much on having to piss that I can't get back to sleep.
Yeah. And you can't just lean out of your swag like you did at Lake Tyres once when we were fishing.
Remember when I cramped when that
happened? You got the all-time cramp.
Yeah.
And pissed all over yourself.
Cramp. Yeah, hamstring cramp mid-piss leaning out the side of a swag. That was brutal.
And look, let it be told, I wasn't... I was asleep in my swag, so I didn't see all this unfold. But you explaining it the next morning was one of the greatest things I've ever heard. It was magnificent.
Oh, mate, there was piss everywhere. Yeah. Like, it was rough.
The crap. You just try to do a cheeky piss out the side without having to fully commit to getting up out of the swag.
Yep. And listen, this is probably, all right, peek into the personal life. I wear glasses.
Yeah.
Not many people would know. I wear contact lenses everywhere. I can't see long distance. I haven't been able to see long distance for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I try and avoid getting out of the swag too far when I need to have a piss because it's a whole fucking ordeal. I've got to find my glasses. I've got to put them on. I'm nearly 6'4", so I'm not the most nimble bloke going around.
Yeah.
It was a disaster, Luke. I thought, no, I'll just unzip and have a go out the side, but I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again.
Scarred for life.
That was grim. That was grim.
That's a that was a highlight for a tough. Oh no, I think the fishing was okay. Actually,
the fishing was okay.
Yeah. Very well. Okay, so thank you again for that. Very, very deep droppy question. Love it.
So what are we going to sign? What are we going to sign off this topic with? Are we going to say 4 hours? Because I didn't mind the way you presented it to me. I would do that without much thought, whether it's smart or not.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
And by the way, we'll put it to you guys out there. So please let us know on Instagram when you see that post go up, or go back and find it if you're listening to this a bit later. But I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks. I think I'm saying an 8-hour round trip, and it sounds a lot when you say it like that.
It sounds too much like that. But your breakdown before was
break it into chunks. We'll pick you up at 4, be there by 8, fish for 6 hours, be home by 6 p.m.
Are you a multiple driver type guy, or if you're driving, do you just stay committed to driving?
I get in the zone.
Yeah,
no, I'm not against it. If it's a real power mission like that, and we say, you know what, we'll stop for a box of shapes and a pack of sour worms, and then you can take us into the river. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
but
I'm okay with it. But I don't plan it like I don't plan around that.
Nah, I'm typically sort of set. But I'm also each to their own, and no one should take advice on anything we're saying. But I've also driven to Port Macquarie in one hit, 14 hours. from
that.
Melbourne. So
There's no way you can break that down to me that makes it sound like it'd be a good
and I
idea.
also and that wasn't up and back, by the way. I was there for a while, but I don't think I could do that again. It was fucking wild. But anyway,
the things we do for fishing.
I love that. So I love that. I love that we could. I love that question. So thanks again. Let us know what your thoughts are, what your threshold is, and what your limits are.
Yeah, for a day
But
trip.
I reckon. And listen, I'm not doing that. This might sound a bit, I don't know, like a knob, but I'm not doing that to go probably and catch a snapper, or do you know what I mean? Like it'd
Yeah.
have to be something.
It's a
pretty-
specialty trip.
Yeah, it is.
A specialty trip where something's performing
Even
exceptionally
tuna.
well.
Even tuna, I'm like, no, unless you said to me there are yellowfin on the bite, something random down at
Yeah.
Portland, all of a sudden yellowfin. Like, fuck it, let's go. It's
Yeah.
worth it. But it'd have to be, yeah. Anyway, let us know what you what you think. By the way, ads, I need to just do another Instagram shout because we had I've had a couple of messages and I will get to them. And I appreciate it because I've been doing just some stupid little videos where I'm reacting to some stuff on Insta.
I've seen them. They're good.
So there's just, there's some weird shit on Instagram, mate. Like it's just some random weird shit. Found a couple of fishing videos and basically did a bit of a reaction, had a bit of fun with it. But just in the last couple of days, we've had a couple of people send some videos through. So
Oh, yes.
I'm going to jump on it because it's fun and it's purely just a bit of a piss take and having fun. So hopefully, if you like it, by all means, even if it's a video of you, like if you're out there and you've caught something, there's something cool or something stupid, or you've hooked your mate in the ear or something, and you want me to have a bit of fun with it, send it through on Instagram.
Yeah,
The deep
100%.
drop, flick it through in a message, because it's fun, man. We got to just really embrace the game we're in and have some fun with it. But there's also some cool shit like that tiger fish catching the birds midair. Now
Unbelievable.
we've seen
Unbelievable.
seen videos of that was kicking around a couple of years back of the GTs eating birds, like mutton birds or whatever the fuck they were. That was cool.
Yeah.
But if no one knows what I'm talking about, jump onto the Deep Drop Instagram page. There was randomly just popped up this video of these tiger fish. If you don't know what a tiger fish is, these things are hardcore. Big fuck off teeth, aggressive as fuck. Look cool. These things were literally grabbing these sort of sparrowy looking birds out of the sky. And they'd learnt their movements. Like they knew when they were coming down I think they were saying they were coming down to bathe or something, and these tiger fish were going,
Just eating
not
the
on
shit
my
out of
watch.
It
Bang.
was that was incredible footage.
Yeah.
Incredible footage.
Is tigerfish, did we speak about tigerfish as one of the species we'd introduce?
No, but put it on the list.
That could kill everything.
Everything.
Between them and snakehead.
And probably will.
probably
That's
will.
all that would be in Australian freshwater.
Maybe they could
impoundments.
maybe they could eradicate.
Everything.
Yeah. I was going to say, could you train them? Maybe not. So anyway, feel free, send it through. If you want to give me any sort of detail, you can. Otherwise, just send it with no context. I'd love to check it out and just
No context would be cool.
no context, whatever.
Just
that's
to
fine.
give you nothing, to just solely your reaction on what's happening out there.
Oh, like there was one the other day where a shark just charged a kayak, and I'm just like,
I would have
that.
shit all different shades of brown if that happened to me.
yeah.
I would not go anywhere near the water ever again. That was terrifying.
So yeah, let us know. The weirder, the better. I don't think there's any limitations. If it's not all videos will make it to air. So let us know, and I'd love to have a look at them. Now, speaking of everything Instagram ads, we do get lots of messages, and a lot of them are about past episodes or topics that we've spoken about or posted on Instagram. Brilliant, love it all. By the way, so thank you everyone for getting involved. Thought I'd just, while we've got the opportunity, maybe just jump into a few of them ads and raise them. Because I don't know if you've seen them all. I mean, I don't think it's harsh of me or you'll take offense to me saying that social media is not your forte.
No, you'd be spot on. No offense taken.
Dylan Pace sent us a post from, well, I think the writing's Japanese, but it was from about squid jigs.
Yep.
We've spoken about squid jigs a lot in the last little bit, and we did mention that. Has anyone seen squid eating prawns? Because ultimately those jig shapes are based around that. The ones that Dylan sent through are, and I reposted into our stories recently, but they're like a squid body with a squid prong. So the idea there is squid eat and attack other squid, and absolutely they do. We've all seen it. Like they're absolute mongrels against themselves. So they're kind of cool.
That's cool.
It's almost like, the squid that are on like teasers, those soft full body. Yeah, they're almost like those. So they're, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches long.
So it wasn't still like the shape of a prawn, but it had just a squid
cloth,
a squid pattern cloth on it.
No, proper sort of squid look about it. Those are playing along at home. I just held it up to Adam.
That's pretty. They look pretty good, actually.
Yeah, so that would
like
work.
Little Humboldt squid.
Because part of me's like, I know that squid are smart. We know their brains are big and whatever. But part of me's like, they're also a bit dumb.
Well, they have to be dumb. They can only be so smart. They only live for 12 months, so they need to eat lots and grow big and make more squid quickly because time's short.
Yeah.
There's no time to be smart if you're a squid.
No, fair enough. Hey, Spud. Now, Spud interacts with us quite a bit. Love the messages we get from Spud. Spud was one who sent through, he found a photo of, remember that we were talking about platypus lures?
Oh,
swim baits, but he found some sort of hard bodies by Western.
Yep.
Now, not as good as what we were going to come up with, but
because it was a lure called a platypus. It wasn't shaped like a platypus.
No, it was kind of based its colours off it. Maybe, I don't know, but even that questionable. But what Spud's gone and done now, he left a voice message, and I haven't been able to reopen it. I don't know, is something wrong with my phone? But basically, I had to listen to it. Spud's going away, and this is going to be a rolling update, by the way. Spud's going away. This Spud, you could be the first Deep Drop Pro staffer, by the way. Just putting it out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Now he's a bit of a handy unit. I think a bit of a chippy or something. And apologies if I get that detail wrong. He's going to build something. He's going to go and jump on the lathe, jump on his machinery, and start putting together some lures.
Oh, Spud, you got to send us the update photos of this.
100%.
I want to see the whole process.
So I'm pumped for this, Spud, and hopefully you're listening to this because we're right behind this, and we'll be sharing the journey of this lure with everyone on Instagram and anyone listening to the podcast as it comes to hand. So keep us updated. I've given him the instructions. Keep us posted. Give us the updates. This is going to be epic. So great work, Spud.
Yep.
So pumped for that. Shout out to Jaden, who suggested we go and visit him on his property where there's a dam full of Reddies ads. So might be a trip in that.
You're in my wheelhouse there.
Absolutely. There's something in that. And again, just another shout out from Gavin. Just reached out about the playlist. So just a reminder again, the Deep Drop Fishing Tunes is where you can get amongst it.
Send through your requests.
Once I shared it. And this is great, Gavin. When I shared the link, you obviously got on there and listened and just wrote, "Fuck yeah,"
which sums up the playlist perfectly.
Sums up the playlist
because every time a song finishes and a new one plays, in your head, maybe even out loud, you go, "Fuck yes."
Fuck yeah, absolutely. And just finally, now this was a bit of a throwback to a few episodes ago. It might have been a few weeks ago. We were talking about casting reels for blue water. So you brought up a great example of how, ultralight is spin, medium tackle is bait cast, when it comes to barra and cod and whatever. Heavy tackle casting goes back to spin. But, what is there out there? Or if not, let's design something. Now, James, who has sent this through, found it. I'm hoping you went out there searching for it, James, on behalf of the Deep Drop, mate, because that's brilliant commitment. Love it.
Yeah.
Daiwa USA have a Lexa 500. Now, I'll send this to you, Ads, because you're way more technical, but it is basically a like a low profile but wide bait cast looking, but obviously power handle, all the rest of it, plenty of line on that spool, which is casting poppers and stick baits to blue. And I'm reading the post from this particular call out. Perfect choice for casting poppers and stick baits to bluefin or yellows and calicos, and fly lining a live bait to a local tuna.
That's really interesting, because you've just held it up for me to have a look at. There's one detail I find on it. It's interesting, especially because it's been designed and marketed as a tuna casting reel. I find it interesting, the handle they've gone with it, that it's still a power paddle handle and not just the single crank handle, which you find on some, like a jigging reel.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder if actually there's actually a video of them catching tuna on it, but and working a popper, which is interesting.
Okay, nice.
Really?
All right, so there is something that's happening in that space.
Yeah, but again, we did see that from was it Shimano USA with the first tranks that sort of
the big tranks, yeah. Which that was a 500 size too from me.
Yep, seems similar, but anyway. I love the commitment of finding that, by the way. That's awesome. And this is why we love our listeners. We've got the best listeners in the world, Ads.
Get amongst it.
Not even close. It's brilliant. So anyway, so there is plenty there to go through. And thanks, everyone, for getting in touch and sharing with us your thoughts and feedback and videos and photos and whatever it is, because keep it coming, because it's magnificent. Love it. Adam, we're going to leave it there. We're going to wrap it up. Wrap this bad boy up. I want to hear from people what their thoughts are on driving and what is too far for a day trip when it comes to fishing.
So give us your answers in hours is round trip. So 3 hours each way would be a 6-hour round trip.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
just to keep it nice and uniform and easy.
And even if you wanted to add any detail, I mean, it would be interesting. I'd be curious as to what you'd travel for. Like, what would make you go, I'd do 8 hours for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point, because context is big too.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, let us know. Good. Great work, Adam.
We'll get an answer on this.
We will. I need to go up early on a flight up to see your boys. Looking forward to spending a day with Rapala. A couple of days with Rapala.
It'll be awesome. It's good up there. Good crew.
I'll see if I can come back with a bag full of lures that they don't realise are missing from the showroom.
Well, if you go to the showroom, I reckon you'll be right.
All right, everyone. Find it on Spotify and other places you get your podcasts. Instagram to get in touch and say hello. We've got lots happening, bubbling away behind the scenes, but we want to keep in touch with you guys. So reach out whenever you feel the need. It can be something on the show. It can be something you've thought about and just want to bring to the table. And, just share it around with your friends too. We want to keep spreading the love with the Deep Drop. We want to still get it out there and get people listening and new people to join the confusion of what the Deep Drop is.
100%, yes.
So please share it around. It means a lot. As this grows, we can continue to do cool shit. So thank you, everyone, and we'll speak to you again really soon. See you, Ads.
Peace.